No, I know what I'm doing.
Yo, it's over coming at you with the scene that's legit. Teaching you the tricks so you can just push. Now let me ask, are you down with JPP? I'm down on JPP. Welcome to the world where the makers groove. 3D prints and CNC will make it move with tips and tricks. I'm the teacher you need, helping you calibrate and level with speed. From upgrades to tuning, I got your back. Dial in your machine, keep it right on track. It's about the flow, the prints that shine. Just push print, and you'll blow their minds. Are you down with JPP? I'm down with JPP. We're building the world with creativity. I'm down with JPP. Just push, print, and set it free. I'm down with JPP. Now let me break it down, keep it easy and clean. Fine tuning your build, it's the maker's dream. From filament jams to CNC flare, I'll show you how to master it anywhere. Got a squeaky C axis? Let me show you the way. Smooth it out so your prints can slay. Design upgrades, yeah, keep it cool. Turn your setup into a powerful tool.
How y'all doing tonight? I know y'all been waiting for the Cocoa Press video. Here it is. I'll let Melissa take it away since it's her Cocoa Press.
How are y'all doing tonight? I haven't been able to do anything at all with this Cocoa Press yet. So tonight's the first night I'll ever actually turn it on, do whatever needs to be done to it. Try to at least get one print done tonight if possible, if everything works out right. And as for cleaning it, I don't know if I'll get to it tonight because the way a lot of it does, you need to actually like print the whole tube of chocolate first. Or if not, you're going to end up wasting it. You can't just take out so much of it. So I don't know if we'll be able to clean it tonight. But if nothing else, like I said, we are going to try to get at least one print, if not two done while it's printing. Just kind of hang out and whatever and watch it print and see what happens.
Yep, so Melissa's going to be running the show tonight, and I'm going to be handling the chat. Attempting. Miss Lee Marie said, I'm excited for you, Melissa.
Me too, because I've been waiting a while for this. I was hoping to have done it last week, but everything that went on, we wasn't able to without not having the internet.
Thorpe says chocolate ding ding time. Well, you can go turn it on, do whatever. You do what you're going to do. I'm just managing chat. This is your show. Canuck Labs out there saying what's up. Steven Machado showing up. Saying no pre-game binging on content. And we got Thorpe, a.k.a. just another 3D printing guy, a.k.a. to us, he's Beans.
Okay, I'm fixing to turn the power on for the first time. It's plugged up and everything.
Keela said, what's that feel like, Cody? I'll let you know as we get going.
Can you see that screen?
I can make the screen big so that it's focusing on your Cocoa Press. The screen is a little bit far away to be able to read it on the screen.
Well, before all this, I did go ahead and clean the little mat. I cleaned it. I wiped everything down. There's nothing inside here to really clean. I've got the nozzle and the other stuff that is pretty much brand new. I did kind of clean it a little bit, but like I said, there's really nothing to have to take out or show. So most of it starting off is just going to be pretty much loading it and getting it started, I guess, printing, seeing how it does.
So right now you're going to be loading a chocolate core.
Yep. I'm using a dark chocolate. We had more dark chocolate than any of them. So practicing wise, I'm going to use the dark chocolate on this stuff.
Thorpe said, is Jeremy asleep already, Miss Lee Marie?
What is this?
Yeah.
And then we've got the tube. And this nozzle is the 0.8.
Yep.
0.8 nozzle.
Yeah, I'll screw the nozzle on first.
Give me that stuff up. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. The nozzle, it just screws onto the tube. It's pretty simple. Now, this is the part I'm not sure.
Thorpe said, does it have to be cocoa pressed chocolate? We will say stay tuned for part 2 and 3 of the Cocoa Press series, and we'll address that. Keela said he would have been. He's working on a video. LOL. Actually, let me check. We're never in the same room. What are you not sure about?
Okay, so I need to lift.
You got to do the lever again first because it's latched right now.
Oh, I know. That's the first one I did.
Yes.
Okay. My first problem was when I got this, I was looking at it, looking all around it, touched everything. I couldn't find anything to lift this up with, which, like I said, I probably could have done some more searching online, but I was just trying to figure it out myself and never could figure it out. But on the very back of this, there's a little lever, which, like I said, I was afraid I was going to break something. I didn't want to touch nothing I wasn't supposed to. There's just a lever that you just push back, and it is a little hard, but once you do it, it releases the, what's this called? It releases this.
Your tool head, extruder thing,
Yeah.
whatever they call it, your chocolate squirter.
I'm still new to this stuff, so I'm still kind of not sure what everything is called, so just bear with me. Like I said, I'm still learning. But when you lift this up, this is where your tube and your nozzle, your chocolate and everything goes in it. It's got a plunger in it, which there's a few things you have to do that we did do a little research to try to figure out how to do some of it, because like I said, we didn't know, but we haven't actually done it ourselves. So
You have to unload first.
we're, like I said, kind of experimenting, and y'all are getting to experiment it with us. First thing, you're supposed to take the plunger, you have to extrude it out.
Unload
It. Yeah, it's kind of
just
different
go to your
words
screen and
from-
tell it unload. So you
different
can
words
show
from a
them.
3D printer. When you extrude, and this you're unloading or whatever. What do you say? Go to load and unload.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and on this screen it brings up a thing you can tell it continuous to load or to unload it. What we're doing is actually unloading it to get it to push out to where we can put the plunger on it and then load the chocolate and then put the tube and the nozzle in it. So I'm going to hit unload, and it's got a start stop button. You press it once, it starts, press it again, it stops. And you're going to do that until it ends up coming out to where you can pass the end of it. Okay, mittens start.
And stop.
It's coming out. Well, and I stopped it there. Of course, that was as far as it could go out. Okay, then it comes with these plungers that you put on it. They say that you can use these a couple times. They're not, you don't need to use them too much because they'll eventually wear out. And I dropped it.
Yep, you did. Now you gotta go clean it.
My floor's clean. Get me a new one.
Yeah, go get a new one and clean that one. Put that by the
I'm gonna
sink.
just get a new one. Part of being on live stream.
Bean said, darn it, Melissa. Keela said, uh-oh. And
So I'm gonna just get a brand new one out of the pack, and it's clean.
no, I don't think so, Thorpe. I think it's just using an inductive probe, but that's something we can add since the Cocoa Press 2.0 update brings it to regular clipper.
Okay, try this again. Here's the plunge. Says you're just supposed to slide it on top of it, and it should slide all the way on it. And it did.
Now you put the
Okay.
chocolate in the tube.
No, okay. Now I'm taking my dark chocolate.
Barely. Scissors. Hold that so it don't fall down and hit your bed.
Open too easy. So yeah, be handy to have scissors around. Oh, it does have a little tear spot on the top of it.
Well, now you know.
It's got a little rip spot on it. Okay, these little tubes at the end of them, which I don't know if y'all can tell or not, but
It has
like
a cone
point
tip.
way up
It has a little nipple.
where it goes that part into the tube first, to where it'll, I guess, fit into the nozzle better. Okay, and it's in the tube. I'm assuming all the way down.
The plunger will push it in.
Okay, I gotta do the plunger back in.
No, you got to put that in first, and then you put the plunger in.
Plunger goes in first, and then you slide this in. This ain't gonna hold on to nothing.
Do it.
So I need to load it.
Uh-huh.
Let you go look at that video. You're supposed to go, I think, halfway in.
Dan said peanut butter in the chocolate.
We have thought about that. We've thought about a couple different things of possibly being able to put inside it to fill it.
And by the way, hey, Maker Mine, good to see you, bro. And then you slide that on.
I'm just sliding this in. You kind of, once you get it in there, you can kind of feel it go over that plunger a little bit to where it.
I'll get back to chat in a minute. And then you make sure that it's mostly lined up.
I'm getting there. On the side of this, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but there's a little square. Yeah, not really an addition, but it comes out. But on the end of it, it's supposed to line up with the piece on the steel. What do you call that? On the
It's a
whatever.
key.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's got to go in there. So I'm gonna load it a little bit until it gets a little closer to make sure that I do have it lined up correctly before it goes in, or it will not go in. So it ain't. Okay, I think that's lined up.
You have to push it all the way.
Anyway, it's all the way in now. What's this called?
Thumb screw.
There's also a thumb screw that comes with. Once you get this all the way in, the nozzle, there's a thumb screw on the top that you can screw in that will actually hold it into place. It's just a screw.
Now you got it all the way screwed in.
Yep, this screw.
Okay. And then now you can carefully lock it back in place before you touch no more buttons.
Now all I'm going to do is just lift it back up, hold the front of it as I clamp the back closed.
And now it's
Double
locked.
check it, make sure it is locked. So it's locked down now. Okay, on the screen, I'm going to tell it I'm done with that.
All right, while she's doing that, I'm going to get back to reading the
So
comments.
preheat the chocolate now.
Uh-huh.
Okay, there's a button on this menu that says preheat chocolate. Click it. It gives you 3 choices between the dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate. Of course, I'm using the dark chocolate. So I'm gonna select dark chocolate, and it's popped up a timer saying 20 minutes. So I guess we're gonna have to wait 20 minutes for it to heat the chocolate up and let it do whatever it's gotta do.
Preheat.
Well, preheat, but melt or.
All right. While that's preheating, I'll finish going through these comments. Dan, back to what Dan said. Dan said peanut butter in the chocolate. Now, what was he saying to his comment?
No, but and we had thought about like doing some of the where the infill, like maybe get some kind of chocolate or not chocolate, get peanut butter and actually like kind of squeeze into it and then let it do the top layer and close it off in it.
You ain't got to holler.
I'm not hollering, I'm just talking. We even thought about like
Machado
marshmallow
said,
fluff, putting in something maybe like marshmallow fluff, caramel.
Stephen Machado said, so we going for chocolate sculptures or are we filling them with goodness?
Probably some of both.
Canuck Lab said, what if you just outright ate one of them chocolate cores?
Might not be bad.
And Stephen Machado said, and if you're doing filled ones, what's the proof?
What proof?
Proof that it's got something in it.
Oh.
And then
you'd have to buy it and bite it open and eat it.
Thorpe said you need an IDEX Cocoa Press for peanut butter cups. And Makermind Nexus saying hello to everybody. Thorpe said it doesn't look like a thumb. They're talking to each other.
It's just a screw.
And then Canuck Labs out here trying to do French and what looks like Portuguese and whatever, and said take a bite out of the core. And Makermind said cherry pie filling, depending on the print, put 1 or 2 cherries with the sauce. Melissa don't like cherries.
Through some of this stuff that
came with it's your show. You can go through it.
Came with the cocoa press that we got. There you are, the hand.
Yeah, I was going to say, you get where you want to be, and I'm just your assistant. You just tell me what you want to do. So we'll see how bossy you're going to be. If you're going to be Terry level bossy or Keela level bossy.
Be my own level.
Speaking of, I don't see no 3D and T printing up in here. That would be something that would be better for like infusing in the chocolate mix or something. He said fill a print with liquor.
I'm not going to show this stuff.
And Keela said, I know that was coming. And then Dan said, dang it, now I need a cocoa press to try the cherry pie filling idea. And Keela said, funny, I was just about to tell you to be nice, Cody. It's like, I am being nice.
Some of the things that we got with the cocoa press, some of this, the guy.
I'm just going to move the camera over since all the cocoa press doing is heating up and you're showing stuff.
Like I said, we did buy it used. It came with a few extra things they threw in. Which we was looking at the serial number. This one's 112, so it's pretty new. I mean, one of the first within the first 150 they done.
Pretty early, you mean?
Yeah. But he printed this.
Mm-hmm.
This little case that this is in, the guy that we bought it from, he actually 3D printed it. This little thing tray is pretty heavy.
She said she was talking about me saying the bossy part. And then Thorpe says Keela isn't bossy. She just knows better than Jeremy.
But he made a little tray to like hold all the nozzles and the tubes in. Which of course this is just an adapter.
SD card reader.
reader.
But what's cool about that is that has one end is a regular USB and the other end is a USB-C. So it gives you a SD card adapter that you can use in either type of device or port.
And this is actually, let's say, from Cocoa Press. It's got their logo on it. Can you see it?
Yeah, I'll put that size full, or that one full screen.
But like I said, this was 3D printed, the tray, which of course it matches everything on the Cocoa Press that he redone,
and that's all
3D printed.
I think it's a Polymaker purple that he used for
it does
that.
have like the glitter sparkles in it.
So it's a Galaxy something.
And then it came with the scraper.
Kayla said that tray will come in very handy.
Then you got your brush and your, what is this? Just a plunger.
Just a plunger thing.
It
just looks like a giant glue stick, but you just use that to pop that rubber piece out if it gets stuck in the tube.
And then we've got some.
Canuck said he's got to go.
Nozzle unclogging.
Take it easy.
It's got 2 different sizes. It comes with a different size nozzles. You got your 0.8 and your
1.6.
1.6. And then, like I said, it's got extra little things you can use to like poke the nozzle out to make sure all the chocolate is out of it. And then you've got a Cocoa Press plunger parts box, which has a lot of your extra plungers, which I had to get one while ago since I've dropped one. Extra thumb screws. See, if I would have seen this first, it actually says thumb screws. And I would have known what it's called. What are these called?
I don't know.
These are the parts that the plunger goes on to. I'm not sure what they're called, but it had 3 extra ones of those in there. Then, of course, the Cocoa Press stickers.
You can show Keela this other box of stuff on Discord later. She might want some of that stuff.
This is a part he was trying to print, or he did print this part. It was supposed to be like a base. He was trying to make a silicone mold or something to where he could create his own tubes of chocolate. Going
back towards what Thorpe had asked
like
about, does it have to be their chocolate? Like I said, one of these next videos is going to be specifically addressing that topic, is why we're not wanting to go too much into detail on that. Just you can put question mark for it. And then it also came with, I guess it'd be 3 total of the silicone mats that you print on. Then they put their little, I guess they actually all sign it, little thank you card in it, which, like I said, we didn't buy it new, but it's in there. Got their autograph on it. And then did you tell them how many chocolate things you got? No. And it also came with a total of 7 dark chocolates, 7 milk chocolate, and 5 white chocolate cores. So we have a little bit to be able to start with to kind of play around with it and test it out and see how things work out. Hopefully we don't run into any problems. You got 11 minutes left on the dot for your preheat. Just giving you an update. That's going to be a long 20 minutes. Oh, 3D&T says, I have arrived. Sorry, got hyper focused on cleaning. And Thorpe said you should print a poop emoji. There was one on that SD card. He said, or just poop. Well, we're going to print some warm dog poop. It was called what? Warm dog poop is what it's called. And then that's when 3D&T come in and he said, I've arrived. And then he said, Terry is eating pizza listening in. And Thorpe said, no excuses for being late. And he said, sounds yummy. And I was going to say Carrie. Keela said, "What's up, Dave?" Keela, you have to stay because we have something special for one of the test prints. You want me to hand you this? I'm assuming.
Yes, it over here.
And Thorpe said, "Who is Dave?" It's Chad. And then Keela said, "I'll be here."
A few other things that came with it. Of course, this is just extra stuff. They have like the little plastic containers that you can put your chocolate in. It's got the lids to them. Got some little Ziploc bags to put flat chocolate.
Those like name card things or something.
Says transparent tamper gift packing. I don't know. Not
So
sure
that's
what
probably
that
more
is.
bags or something.
Unless it's something you put behind the chocolate. Stick it in the bag. Maybe.
I don't know. It's some kind of packaging
Yeah, little
stuff.
Ziploc bags, and I don't know about that.
Terry said, "Hey girl, hey," and said, "Keela, what's
Not
up?"
sure yet how to use this to put with the chocolate. I mean, I guess you can make your own gift baskets. They have bunches of colors of confetti that they threw in to go with all this stuff. Little chocolate trays. Little trays. If you made some kind of big chocolate something, you can little trays. You can put other stacks of these.
And
in
then
here.
you got the lids to go to those.
Yeah, there's lids that go with them.
Just basically a whole bunch of different kind of packaging stuff that'll probably come in handy for Rocky Mountain, and then if we end up bringing it to Murph as well. Because yes, the cocoa press is planned on definitely coming to Rocky Mountain for sure, and probably will come to Murph as well.
Be printing samples of stuff to give out and letting everybody see it work and whatever.
I'm going to move the camera back to your cocoa press now.
And I still got 7 more minutes to go. Said it takes so long, they said it has to actually heat the whole tube, like starting from the nozzle all the way up to the top and get all the chocolate kind of level in the tube. And yes, it does have an SD card that you can put files on to be able to print on. We kind of right now, we haven't really added much to it. We've got the things that are on it. I think we added one thing to it right now, but you can put, like I said, pretty much anything on SD card and load it up on the cocoa press to be able to print.
There you go. Now that camera shows you and the printer. He says, "So does it only print from the SD card?" Right now, I think yes. Right now, we're just using the SD card. Well, I wasn't paying that much attention, apparently.
I said it does use the SD card. What's the first thing we're going to print?
You're going to do the flower, the poop, or the special thing?
Y'all have any suggestions? Well, we have.
They're going to all start saying poop. Or are they going to say chocolate ding ding?
No, that's not going to be the print to maybe a after night show. We might let it print in the background or something one night and print that. But that's going to be a late night stream or something.
He said flower.
Printed.
You need to do that flower that you was going to do. The one that don't take that long.
Do the flower, and then we'll do this
special thing.
The one we added.
Okay. She said the first test print is going to be a chocolate flower, and then if that does right, then the special mystery chocolate print will be the next thing on tonight's show, and that'll be the 2 prints for sure for tonight.
And if the special one we're doing works out right and prints good, that possibly might be the thing that we print when we go to
When we're at Rocky Mountain.
Yeah, while we're at Rocky Mountain, that might be what we print and be able to give away.
Say, what the hell? That sounds like a Terry answer. We're working on that too. He said chocolate maker coin. It's going to be chocolate and marshmallow.
It's got 4 minutes left.
T-minus 4 minutes left on the heat up. Y'all have any other questions or suggestions? Or Dave and Terry was late. Y'all got any remarks?
So yeah, we was late too.
Yeah, we was a little bit late starting the show.
Cameras didn't want to cooperate. Why are you putting it on these me?
He said you might want to freeze them on the way to Rocky Mountain.
Now, we're not actually going to bring them. We're going to actually print them while we're there and print them, give them away right then.
The special things she's talking about. If I end up doing any of the chocolate maker coins beforehand, those will be something that we'll make and then we'll freeze or refrigerate. But yeah, she's talking about this test print that we're doing. Doesn't take very long, and it'd be something we can keep printing over and over. What for something for it to be printing at the events, and then something that could be given away. No dino penises.
Could you print them up and put them in like a little cooler? Not actually freeze them, just
like that cooler thingy we got. Make trays of them, like where we
they'll
brought.
Be in their own little packages.
Yep. So yeah, we got ways we can keep them cool. Not like a certain someone that promised cupcakes and then didn't deliver. And then Thorpe said, "That's not fair. I won't be there."
Well, we'll have to see if we can package them up, maybe mail it to you.
Terry said unsubscribed because no chocolate dino penises.
Well, like I said, that's going to be a late night thing. That's got to be after dark.
And Keela said, "Who, me? Never."
Two minutes.
2 more minutes. And then Keela said, "Thorpe, you should get your butt to Murph."
This is heating the nozzle thing up to what, 33 degrees Celsius?
Yeah, it preheats the chocolate core, the whole tube, everything, to 33 degrees Celsius.
One and a half minutes.
Dave said they do donuts for 3D Printopia and special requests for Maryland Foods too. I was about to read that as McDonald's Foods. He said maybe next year, Keela.
Once this heats up, then open the file.
Well, if I would do the thing where make sure you prime it first.
So do that first before. How do you move this thing? Just move it wherever it needs to be. Like over here.
You just push the button.
But you don't want to. You have to take it out before you print. Had to let it warm, cool off to take it off. It's gonna be in your print area. That's why he done it back in the back when we watched.
He said it would be hard doing this year with just starting a new job, and then Keela said that's true.
15 seconds.
But yeah, you have to go to the menu and move it to the front if that's what you want to do.
That's the way he done it. He made sure it wasn't on top of the print.
Mm-hmm. 2, 1, preheat,
Preheat
finish. Now you gotta tell it, okay.
And I'm telling it okay. Done. So now what? Extrude, see, or tell it to print and stop it and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna go for media.
Yep.
Find my file. What I said
I'm gonna
did.
put you full screen.
Which one am I still doing first?
The flour.
It's just named flour.
He said, no, we would do you better than McDonald's, at least Arby's. They have the
The
meats.
chocolate flour.
Yeah. And then Keela said, Dave, excuse me, I didn't get no donuts. He said, I went looking for everyone. I think Jeremy got one. You were running around.
Okay, this print says that it's going to take 21 minutes, use 14 grams
Mm-hmm.
of chocolate. So I'm going to tell it to print. Start printing, yes.
And then if it doesn't do the line thingy, then you tell it stop.
And it's supposed to do a purge line, which will do like on top of the dots. It's supposed to fill it in. If it don't, then you have to stop it and try to extrude it.
Which telling it stop
Get
print,
it.
I think, puts it to that front corner.
How did it know to stop right there?
It has an inductive probe that reads the metal bed underneath it.
And nothing is coming out. So
So
stop
you
it.
tell it stop. Tell it stop. Yes.
Yes.
And then now
Well, it's
you
doing
tell
the
them what
purge
you
line.
got to do.
It didn't print anything, so we're having to stop it and actually, what do you call it, prime it or do whatever to get the chocolate to start coming out. So what do I go to? Extrude or load, unload, extrude. What's the difference?
Load, unload.
What's the difference?
Until it unload. Until it does this little blob.
Unload. Can you do that?
You can try.
Unload, that's something else.
No, that's not.
I did it. It didn't start clicking.
Okay, well then go done. And
Get
tell
it
it
extrude.
No, the dude was doing the load and the unload.
Well,
But you
then-
never did it to get the thing in the tube in the first place.
Yeah, so what do I need to do?
Where you was at? Load and unload.
And then what?
What you was doing.
Unload.
Uh-huh.
It ain't doing it. It clicks and nothing's coming out when I do that.
It's going to do that until it
It's not
starts spreading
supposed to
out.
click. It's not supposed to make that sound.
Well, then tilt it back and take the whole thing out and try again. But it's going to be hot.
There's chocolate on the end of that, ain't it?
Yeah.
So it's right there. So it is coming out now.
Yeah.
It just didn't squirt out like you said.
That's because it had to get that far first.
But it still ain't supposed to click.
It's going to click
Okay, I'm
until
gonna
it's
print
working.
again. It sounded like it was tearing itself up. Yeah, print a little bitty dot of chocolate. So it is coming out of the nozzle now.
Martine Shrimp Father's in here. Dave said, what's the hold up? We need dino penises. I think we might be getting a boxing match. Fight, fight, fight. Is it doing the chocolate line?
No, I think the nozzle needs to be down more. Because
Well,
it ain't, it's coming out, but it ain't touching. See? You can see a gap. But yeah, it ain't all the way to the thing. You can see it trying to come out a little bit, but it don't.
Do it until it makes the glob.
Unload.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing a glob on its own right now, and I ain't done nothing.
Well, then just try it again. Then.
What? Print?
Print. Then get something to clean that off the tip. Get you your tweezers or whatever.
I don't think it's going down far enough to the bed. Because like that, you can see a gap in between it and nothing's coming out.
Now tell it stop print. And do it until it makes a big blob of chocolate like before, where it's definitely primed. Because if that was printing a line, there would be a bunch globbed up if it ain't fitting.
It is not supposed to make that sound.
Well, then start over, take the whole thing apart, and reload the chocolate. Tell it, go to the menu and tell it cool down.
Where?
Temperature. Cool down. Done. Done. And then you gotta wait for it to get cool enough for you to try to unload it and make sure that the plunger is in the tube to start with.
It was in the tube.
Against the chocolate to start with.
Well, y'all are getting to experience all these troubles and problems with us. Apparently the chocolate's not coming out of the nozzle like it should. But I don't think the nozzle's close enough to the bed from what I'm looking at.
They was talking about we was gonna be fighting each other. Dave said that Cody would lose. And Keela said all couples bicker. And she said, or Thorpe said, at least you'll smack Jeremy. And then Keela said, oh, that I will. Maybe Cody needs a good smack, LOL. And then she said, hopefully he don't read that.
It did a little tiny thin line, but then it stopped.
That's what I said. It's not from it being too close. That's it, not
ain't close
squirting
enough.
out. No. If it was a gap and it was printing, it would just be having blobs of chocolate. The chocolate is not coming out the nozzle. Has nothing to do with the gap. That's why you see a gap, because there's no chocolate where it's supposed to be coming out.
Striker, leave that box alone. Just trying to get my Cocoa Crush box. What? You gotta stay down.
Kayla said, or Linear Burns said, I've heard those are a pain to get right. Keela said, I'm making Killer Prince a starting screen right now and a thumbnail, and Jeremy's on me for a thumbnail for his video, LMAO. And then Thorpe said, I think he read it, Keela. He said, and Linear Burn said, I think the chocolate is not thin enough.
So it needs to heat up longer.
And Keela said, what's the heating temps for this? It preheats the whole thing to 33 degrees Celsius.
Striker, quit. You're moving the camera.
And then
What?
Dave said, poop, damn it, poop.
So what is it when it's cooled down?
Nothing.
Well, it's on 30.
It's not going to be to 0.
It's on 31.
Oh, no, you can try to tilt it back, make sure it's lined up and whatever.
And then they're having a big mess. Cool down. What ain't lined up? Where you need to push this bed down?
That would probably be under menu, XYZ move. And you can do
Striker, quit.
10 millimeters and tell your Z, I guess go down.
The Z?
No,
No.
up.
Rammed it in the bed. See, there's chocolate on it.
Yeah, clean it off. And that's what I would say. Do it while it's in the air so you can see it until it's dribbling chocolate. It'll be. The camera's on it. Me get on the camera. She said she wants me on camera. Let me see what people's saying in here.
You gotta keep up with the chat.
Linear Burn said try up in the temps or use thinner milk chocolate. Keela said that's not as hot as I thought it would be. 3D and T said dynamite.
So the chocolate we're using is what came with the cocoa press.
And then Keela said, come on, poop emoji. Thorpe said, watch a YouTube video.
We tried. He didn't have that problem.
Yeah, and then Keela said they tried. They said they couldn't find any, which is why this is helpful.
We actually did find one a guy did about a year ago. And he pretty much explained a lot of it.
That's one thing I didn't think of. Them files might have been sliced for the milk chocolate instead of the dark chocolate. The dark chocolate's going to be harder, and the white chocolate will be softer than the milk chocolate. And he said, Thorpe said, I can't imagine what you'd have to eat to get that color poop, Keela. Keela said there ain't much info out there, and then she said red velvet might do it, LOL. So you doing, or you got it preheated again?
I ain't done nothing. I went back to the main menu or main thing.
Go preheat it again. And preheat it for dark chocolate.
That's what I did.
That's fine. That's what I said. Just let it heat up again. Just make sure that it's got enough.
It's got to go through the whole 20 minutes.
Probably. And then.
You got to be able to cut it short.
Oh, well, I mean, you can always just say done. But I would let it go for at least 5-10 minutes or so. And then, like I said, do the extruding. Now you got space. Then make sure it is steadily squirting out. And then Thorpe said, I like cake. And then I got a chocolate press. It's fueled by Mexican food. And I said, so the different types of chocolate have different temperatures, possibly. And then Keela says, how does he read this crap without laughing, LOL? Because it's none of it's new to me. He said, so white isn't as hard as dark. He said, not really, but still. And he said, squirt.
You got to squirt the chocolate
Yep,
out.
you got to squirt it out. Squirting it out in the living room. And Keela said, oh my gosh, I tell you, everything in this community can be turned dirty, LMBO.
Especially with chocolate, and you got white, dark. It's got to be hard.
Squirt it
You
out
guys
and
gotta
got to
be
harden
hard
it.
to put it in, soft when it comes out.
You couldn't even finish saying that without laughing.
Linear Bird said for dark chocolate, melting around 45 to 50 degrees Celsius. Milk chocolate, 40 to 45, and white, 38 to 43. I wish they put them things in Fahrenheit instead of Celsius.
Everything is Fahrenheit though.
Well,
But yeah,
I know
right now this is
Fahrenheit.
all the chocolate cores, the profiles and settings, all that stuff from Cocoa Press. And then he said, I think personally white can be pretty hard. He said, I would panic if I squirted chocolate front or back. Maybe take it to the bedroom to warm it up.
So how do you make the temperature heated up to something higher?
I wouldn't mess with none of it. Let it do what it's doing.
Yeah, but this only goes to 33
I know.
and stops.
That's fine. That's
On
what
dark chocolate.
that's what they have it set to. Leave it what they have it set to with their blends of chocolate. He just Googled making chocolate and what temperatures.
But if you was to change,
If we
you
was
would
to
just
do
press
our own
this up
stuff,
and
then yeah,
down?
no, you would have to
What's
go to
this
the
up and-
temperature.
I know. What's this up and down here for, though?
You could probably adjust the temperature up and down for what the preheat thing is, and it would do that temperature for 20 minutes.
See, it's coming out on its own.
Well, if it's coming out on its own, then you
So
can
it-
tell it done. It
See?
don't need to do the whole 20 minutes of preheat again. That was the point, was to see it coming out. You eating it and you ain't on camera.
Well, it's just a little string. See? You can't see it.
No,
Got nothing to see it.
got nothing to see it with.
But it's melting fast, though.
Did you tell it you was done?
I ain't holding nothing. You told me to get the chocolate.
And then Dave said only 3 countries use freedom units. Thorpe said Keela's a dirty girl. Dave said I can't find dino penises. Sad.
Okay, so it's heated up. Now until it print again, it's coming out the nozzle.
Yeah, tell it print again. You don't really need to prime it if it's coming out. You just need to get something and pull it off.
Already did. It came back out.
Yep.
Ain't nothing on
Yeah,
it.
tell print. Because now she oozing. The plate is
Why
just
do I print
room
out the card?
temperature.
Huh?
I don't know.
Why
Melissa
do I print
asked a
stuff out to
question.
be a girl?
She said, why do all printers have to be a girl? Why are they all a her or a she?
Cars are kind of the same way. Guys always have cars. They name them girl names.
Is it spitting a line?
It ain't started yet. No, it ain't touching the bed. Ain't nothing coming out. Oh, you can see a little bit. But it ain't touching the bed.
It's not going to touch the bed. You don't want it to touch the bed.
The
It's
chocolate
gonna,
ain't touching the bed.
well, it's got to have a gap enough the size of the chocolate.
Well, it's bigger than the chocolate.
Well, then tell it stop.
Ain't nothing coming out still.
And do what you did before. Tell it load, unload, until it makes a chocolate blob.
I want to know what extrude.
You can't do it.
Extrude
Extrude don't do nothing.
what should.
You clicked it every time and don't do
Well, you
that.
extrude filament. And it
I
comes
know, but
out.
it's not a filament printer. That's why it's backwards with the
extrude
load
the
and the
chocolate.
unload.
Just still, if it makes that noise, it ain't doing right.
They said machines are hers. 3D printer pen is a dude. Keela said, oh, mine are all men. They're all dicks. Ha, ha, ha. And Dave said if you treat them right, they will last you forever. Well, I would stop it because the way it's doing that, it's jamming. It's not doing. Like I said, it has nothing to do with the gap. It's not coming out.
We said this was part 1, didn't we?
Yeah. Melissa said this is part 1. Might have to stay tuned for part 2. But Dave said if you treat them right, they will last you forever. If you use them hard and rough, they wear out early. He said it needs a Z probe. It has a Z probe.
You got a probe Z offset too here.
I know, but it's like I said, the offset's good. It's not extruding. Look at that whole line. If you're saying it's too high up, you would see the chocolate. It wouldn't just be a tiny faint thing. That's what it would be if it was too close. But it's not extruding.
There's too big of a gap in between the nozzle and the bed.
Then you would see a bunch of chocolate if it's extruding. It's not extruding.
Well, it still is a pretty good ways from the bed to where I don't know where
it's printing at a half of
How
a
many
millimeter
does it
layer height.
How do I move the bed down? X, Y, Z move. Z.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah. What are you trying to do?
Get the bed out of the way.
To do what?
So if I move this up or do something that's out of the way. So what am I doing? Cooling it down?
I don't know what you're doing. That's what I'm asking you. What are you trying to do?
Print. I want to just push print. And just push print ain't working.
Dave said, or Thorpe said, it takes all your money. That too. Dave, can you explain what a dino penis looks like for me? And Dave said, under pooping. He said it's constipated.
See, it's still coming out.
He said, does it need the friction of the stuff touching the bed to help pull it out? No, it's basically a giant syringe.
But it's thin.
It has a plunger attached to the bed screw that it squirts it out or pushes it down with.
How do you cool this off with steadily squirting out right now?
Hit cool down.
Menu. Temperature.
Yeah.
Cool down. See, it's coming out.
I don't know if that nozzle is seated all the way.
It's flat on this part that goes inside that.
Okay.
Where's that chocolate?
It's on your fingers.
That gap is bigger than that in between that nozzle.
Exactly. Because it is a half of a millimeter is the size of the layer lines that it's printing.
So pretty much everything you know about 3D printers is totally different with the chocolate.
Yes.
Why?
It's the same stuff, just different. Like that. Instead of printing at a 0.2 millimeter layer height, it's printing at a half a millimeter layer height, a 0.5 millimeter. So it's gonna look a bigger gap than what you're used to with your CR10.
No, we haven't tried leveling the bed. We haven't done really any of that. What you seen us do earlier, turning it on, doing that, that's literally all we've done. We was hoping it would work.
He said, dry your chocolate. Chocolate is hygroscopic, LOL. Just throw it in the filament dryer. And then he said, did you try leveling the bed? Same but different. Same but different. It's all the same but different. But no, the way it's grinding and stuff is like it's jammed up. It's not doing it like that. You should be able to tell it.
Extrude.
Preheat. No, you can't hit. Forget the extrude button. That's why that button don't do nothing when you touch it.
What's it on there for? It says extrude.
To confuse you. That's why it's on there.
Well, Thorpe asked if we tried a BFH. What is that?
Big freaking hammer.
I will now hammer to my printer. And it definitely won't work. What are you heating it up again for?
You said you wanted to print. The only way we can do anything is with it hot.
You gotta do something with this. It ain't gonna print. We done tried it a couple times. You said we needed to take the chocolate out and do something with it.
Yeah, and the only way it says
When you hit the extrude button on it, it literally does nothing. You can click on it, but it doesn't
says
pop up anything.
To take it out is you have to first squirt all the chocolate out. It don't have the instructions for taking it full of chocolate, taking it apart.
Well, I ain't
So
squirting the whole thing of chocolate out and wasting it. Get the extrude, it don't pop up, do nothing, does it?
No.
Not even now?
No. It don't even do anything at all. Like I said, that button does nothing at all but go dink,
Yeah,
dink.
just dink. But literally, you think the extrude button would extrude the filament out of the nozzle. Summing it up just a bit. That's supposed to be moving? This ain't moving right there.
It's supposed to.
Let's squirt it out. This thing ain't doing something.
Yeah, the motor or something that. Well, it's steadily squirting it out though.
I'm gonna pair it up and it ain't gonna work out. Mess the motor up. I said it don't sound good.
No, that's the screw wobbling inside this plastic.
Yeah, you're unscrewing this back one that's fixing to come out. This little screw's coming out. Stop that. You're wiggling this screw out back here. It's gonna fall apart. Just keep it.
You get you a little bitty screwdriver, Allen.
I need your little thing you got from Dave.
It's under the table down there. But yeah, I don't think that it's supposed to be making that much racket. We got chocolate poop at least.
What's that?
Probably an itty bitty teeny tiny Allen wrench. I can't see none of this crap.
Who has a southern accent? Thorpe said he loved southern accents.
There you go. Yeah.
The first time I met my mother-in-law, or no, I talked to her on the phone. How do you do this thing?
Temperature, cool down, done.
She was talking about my accent, whatever. She told me I didn't have a southern accent. I had a southern twang or something.
All of these comments.
Well, you was making it, letting it act up. Gonna tear it up. It didn't sound good. Okay, let's tighten that now.
He said, dancing at the Pink Pony Club, gotta make them dollars when they holler.
Well, the nozzle's not clogged. It's
I'd say
definitely
clogged or
coming out.
dirty. That does not sound good. That sounds awesome. That doesn't sound good. Sorry, clog or not hot enough. Nails on a chalkboard. Sounds like a muffler that can't get air. Not a normal sound. Edible fail.
Ah! Give me my chocolate back. Get that off me. So here's a little. Try to get my hand up there. See, it is not clogged. It did print. Or it didn't print. It squirted it out.
We need to see. We also found a random washer when we was cleaning it. So might need to double check, make sure everything's the way it's supposed to be.
You got chocolate on your laptop.
I didn't do it.
There's still a piece on it.
You did it.
That tastes just like chocolate.
He said, really hope the guy didn't sell you a dud.
I know. That's why I told him I wanted to hurry up and get this printed and or get it up and going so we can make sure it does work. Because we was told it did. And as much as we paid for it, yeah, it wasn't full price, but it was still a pretty good chunk. But for it to not to be working.
But yeah, I think we're going to have to call it a night or call it an end on part 1. And we'll give it a little bit more thorough going over.
Cool down.
Yes, I told it to cool down.
Well,
Part 1
was a bust.
He said call it part 1A.
But see, at least now, you know, all these people that do videos, they just do it, print it. They never have problems. They don't, it just prints for them.
But yeah, it sounds like something's not doing right with that lead screw or something. Something is not.
It's like this isn't
not doing what it's supposed
screwing
to
down
do.
in it or something, pushing it down.
Dave said, hammer! But other than that, I mean, like she said, the chocolates did taste good. That's one thing, at least when it ain't messing up, you can still eat it.
But it does melt pretty quick when it touches your skin.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll let you tell the good folks out there whatever you want for ending the show with your Cocoa Press.
Oh, okay. But anyway, sorry wasn't able to actually print anything tonight. Not sure when we'll do another video. I know I do have to work the next couple of nights. Unless we end up doing it late one night just to see what happens. So I'm not sure. My next day off will be Thursday. It'd melt before you got them all.
Shrimp Father said it happens. But we appreciate y'all coming and watching our struggles and stuff. And this was just the first of many more live streams. I am going to be doing some more live streams this week. I might not do one tomorrow. Or if I do, keep an eye out for the channel because the next live stream is going to be on the SVO8 and going through the parts list for the Prusa XY build of what I've got printed, what I still got to print, and get things going on those. Dave said we'll get it figured out, and Keela said, yeah, it happens more than it doesn't.
So hopefully the next time I guess we'll have to look at it sometime, see what we can figure out. And if we figure something out before we do a live stream, we'll definitely let y'all know what we done or what we figured out was wrong with it.
He said I didn't say it right. But yeah, at least this was an hour-long live stream, hanging out and listening to us try to get this thing going and going back and forth and all that stuff.
That's disappointing, though. I wanted to print.
Well, I mean, we don't have to stop. We can keep whatever. We can take it apart and look. And people still watch if they want to watch, or they'll go to bed if they want to go to bed.
Yeah, but I don't know what to do to it. It's like, what do I do next?
Melissa said, anybody have suggestions on what to try next? Keela said, we have multiple printers down right now.
We do too.
This is your drink that I was about to open.
Don't drink my drink.
She said, I know it sucks. Trial and error. But you want to
But
try?
I just don't want to have to take it off and then just lose that whole core of chocolate for nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what they say.
But that ought to. Oh.
At least she said, gotta get it in there. Or gotta get in there.
That's not hot.
Well, you can try to pop it back and see what see.
What's 31 degrees Celsius? How hot is that?
I don't know, but if your hand's on it, it's not gonna burn.
Well,
you.
if it gets to 33, that ain't hot at all.
I don't know what they got it set to. But yeah, you can probably try to pop it back and
that's all I'm doing. What I do?
unscrew the thumb screw. Let me put the camera on that since we're doing that so people can
I'm
see
gonna have
it.
chocolate everywhere if this thing just.
Yeah, you'll have chocolate everywhere if it just goes.
Take the thumb screw. Thumb screw.
Thorpe said 87.8.
That ain't hot at all.
And Dave said it happens. And now you tell it to load, unload, and it.
But it wouldn't do that before. Well, I had that screw.
Uh-huh.
Load, unload. Unload.
Yeah, hold your hand on it.
Well, I see that did right. I was supposed to.
Unless it's maybe not lined up completely. I would push it all the way out.
See?
Yeah, now it's pulling it.
Stop. Okay, so now I need to do what?
Push it out.
I don't want it to come all the way out. So
Well, then
mess it
put the
up.
thumb screw back in it.
See, that is
Okay,
me.
now stop it.
I did. Now
And
what?
see if you can push that in anymore. So that it sits against that thing. Now see if that pulls it in when you tell it to load, like it was earlier. Stop. And then put your thumb screw in. That means the plunger's lined up in that tube now for it pulling it in and pulling it out. And yeah, lock it in place. And then just try
Now tell it to.
heat again.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it when it's cold. It's got to be hot.
Well, it ain't heating it up much more than it is in here already.
Well, then try, say, up to, say, 35 or something.
How do I do it? The body, the nozzle?
The both, because the body is the whole tube of thing.
I'm going to try it on 35 degrees Celsius. See what that does. See if it makes any difference. So you remember it was on 33.
He said, Willy Wonka's House of Chocolate. Don't like the walls. Hold the shaft, Melissa. Lick. Chocolate butt plug. But yeah, we did confirm that the plunger is inside the chocolate tube. Assuming that it's against the chocolate because it was pulling the tube in and out.
And it didn't do that the first time.
Yeah, it didn't do that the first time.
So maybe I didn't push it all the way in.
Yeah, maybe she didn't get it all the way in there.
It's not my job.
hey, now, hey, I didn't do it.
Well, it's not my job to push it in.
He said no emotion at all.
I guess I need to keep this guy.
Yeah, you probably want to keep that rag handy. Or paper towel, I mean. Keela said, laughing my butt off. Harder, Melissa.
That's right. It's the
He said, that's the
job.
man's job. And Shadow Queen said, Martin, where did you bring me? LOL. Speaking of, good to see you on the stream. We're hopefully fixing to be printing with this chocolate.
How do you know when it gets up to temperature? Don't tell you what it currently is.
I would just say, watch it. If it starts dripping again, then it's hot enough. And if you want, you can try
Martin says streaming after dark.
the.
Well, it is 10.
Yeah,
well,
it is.
10
It is
o'clock
after
here,
dark.
11 for a lot of y'all.
So you could do that other print if you wanted
I gotta print a regular print first before
we sliced the other thing. If you want to try that first, since we know how it was sliced, we don't know how the flowers or none of that stuff was sliced. It was already on the SD card, the thing for Keela, or from Keela, and it takes less time.
If it'll print the purge line.
Yeah, if it'll print the purge line. Martin says, "Oh yeah, you read that. Streaming after dark." And
It's gonna be after dark.
Thorpe said, "Dickosaurus Rex." He's determined to get you.
Guys and
He's determined to get you to
It seems like the women would be the ones wanting all that, not the guys. Come on now.
You say that while you're all the way off camera.
They can still hear me. 16 minutes. I gotta wait all 20 minutes again.
Unless it starts pooping out again.
I'm like, I was like, I can get it warmed up.
Ouch, that was on camera. He said, gotta show some feel in there. He said, Terry started this. Why else buy a chocolate printer? So yeah, this is a playing with and attempting with the Cocoa Press. He said, there you go, charisma. What's it on now?
15 minutes. Not even a minute past.
I mean, I could fire up. I could fire up a Jackbox or something while we're waiting. We got 10 people watching now.
Like, what am I doing?
Bean said, "Getting freaky with the Cocoa Press."
What am I doing?
Straight up. I didn't do it.
Got me a Cocoa Press that don't work.
I didn't do it. He said, "Hey, Stephen Machado." Little by little.
Trying to give the Cocoa Press a little attention. Maybe it'll work right.
Show us some love. Did you double check the other screw, make sure it was tight and all that stuff? I have a feeling I might need to go through everything and make sure everything's good and tight and the way it's supposed to be.
No, it shouldn't have been shaking like it was, and it wouldn't have wiggled itself out.
How y'all doing this evening? I ain't asked that yet. Take it easy, Thorpe. He said, it's been fun, but got to get to bed. It was great seeing y'all.
So you have to catch us next time. We'll do another part telling more about it. Even if we get it printed tonight.
Part 1B.
Yeah, even if we get it printing tonight, we'll probably still do a couple more on it because I plan on doing as many as I can on it.
You don't have no chocolate drips yet.
Well, it ain't been pushed down. And the last we did was all the way up.
Dave said pickling. Is that what you've been doing today where I asked how you doing? And then Keela said, Dave, you don't even like pickles. He said, nope.
I don't like the smell of that pickled stuff they do. It's got that vinegar smell.
Well, that's what pickling
I
is
know,
vinegar.
Look, if we sell pickled eggs at our store, and I always
And
hate
pickled
them.
pig's feet.
I always hate having to. We don't do no pig feet.
No,
Pig
you do the
lips.
pig's lips.
They're still the same thing though. Ugh. It's like get the gloves and you just get a little of that juice on you, and the smell does not go away.
And it's not
Stuck with
it's
you
not
forever.
pig's face lips.
Why do they do that? Pigs don't have lips on their mouth, do they?
Keela said, funny though, we found some pickles called Famous Dave's. They're the best. And Amanda Shadow Queen said, you don't like pickles? Sad. And Keela said, my girls eat pickled eggs, but I can't do it.
I've never tried them. I can't get past the smell of them.
But you ate a raw oyster though.
I didn't have to smell it or nothing. I just put it in my mouth and swallowed it.
Famous Dave's restaurant pickles. It says 11 minutes left and there's still no dribbles.
Because it needs to go down some more. Last we done was all the way in. Needs to go out.
Uh-huh.
Kayla says she's never had oysters either. Do you ever eat oyster?
Uh-uh.
Fried oysters aren't bad if they're cooked right.
Said pickle
Raw oysters,
eggs, add hot popper, let them
raw
sit.
oysters I wouldn't eat. The only reason I did it that one time is because somebody bet me that I wouldn't do it. So I done it.
They said no oysters for me.
Fried oysters are pretty good. Like I said, they got to be cooked right.
Thank y'all for hanging in there with our struggle bus. He said no clams. And Steven Machado said, I got a pack of hot pickle slices to munch on.
Well, this thing ought to be hot enough.
I gotta let it heat up.
You got 10 more minutes until it's done. And then all it's going to do is not print.
It does that so it makes sure it gets the whole thing nice and toasty.
So it heats all that up?
Uh-huh. Well, not the plastic, but the whole metal tube.
Well, I just see if you can feel it through it. Maybe it gets hot enough.
But you can always tell it done. All it's doing is
well, you told me you had to wait. That's what I was going to tell it. Done and print. And you're like, no.
You can try it. If it's hot enough, it'll do. If not, you just let it sit there at them temperatures. It'll be the same thing as... Yes, you're a printer. You push
what
the
I was
button.
Gonna do.
You do what you want to. It's your printer. Steve Machado said, hanging in with this isn't a problem. This is the only 3D printer where defect prints are still rewarding. And Shrimp Father said he brined wings in pickle juice before smoking them, and they turned out good.
So, like, before I start, I can go ahead and tell it here to load it, unload it.
Yeah, that's doing like it's supposed to. Not like before.
Okay. So done?
Uh-huh. And then pull off your little chocolate string.
It ain't cooled off yet.
And then go to print. Or no, go back.
Wow.
Are you still going to try the flower?
I would want something to print. I got that right there.
Okay.
Print. It's the easiest to get to.
Now I'm going to full screen it on that in case it do right. We trying again.
See, that goes all the way and touches the bed, but when it starts printing, it don't go down that far.
Well, now it's got a line coming out.
Yes, we're printing.
It's printing.
I've got a purge line.
Now I need to.
Chocolate on the nozzle, though, but I can't.
I need to adjust this so that people can see it some more.
Well, it did the purge line. Now it ain't doing this. No. Well, it did print the purge line, but it is not printing the print. Now it is. Well, it started. Was it?
It just did a line, part of it.
I know, but it didn't do what it done over here, though.
It might have just been moving. I don't know.
It's printing something.
It's good enough. You can get your other bed ready and do that other print.
You need to zoom in.
Well, that's what I was trying to. I'll let you do it.
Well, you can't see it because it's dark on it.
I'm gonna adjust this camera. Ow. Well, it's printing something. Whether it turns out what it was supposed to be or not, the next print is definitely something that we hope works.
Maybe what I was doing was the outline of it, but that it didn't do.
And let me see. Keela said, "Yay!" Shrimp Father said, "Are we pooping? We are printing. We got past the pooping."
It's got a few little gaps in it. It's supposed to.
Maybe. Even looking at that file in the G code, I wasn't sure how it looked. Like I said, that other thing we sliced ourselves and I checked it, it was good.
Okay.
No,
Or is it?
no, just your chin and your shoulder and my hand. Steve Machado said skid marks. See, that's why we didn't just end the show and we kept at it and didn't give up.
It's got gaps in it.
Steve Machado said Chico Benchy. I'm pretty sure he meant Choco Benchy. But right now we're printing a flower.
Yeah, flower.
Attempting to print a flower that was already on the SD card.
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to really get online and try to find something that would be good to print with the chocolate.
That's yours, apparently. Well, it's the same as mine. Mine's over here with your drink. How did it get over there?
Because I Hope you have a good night, Amanda. Thank you for joining us.
Yep, thanks for joining us. Keela said, I see chocolate. Jeremy come jumping in the chat said streaming and didn't even know. And is that my Cocoa Press, Cody? LOL.
I printed a star.
It's a star type flower thing, like a daisy or something.
But it's missing a whole section of it.
Well, you can stop it. Now that
I
you,
want to see what it's going to keep doing, though. I can always stop it and still eat it. And start
yeah.
over. I will see if it'll correct itself.
The next thing that we're going to try to print, which we're assuming this does right, we're going to go ahead and try and do it tonight anyways, is a model from Lee Marie 3D that Keela did. And then 3D&T said, tisk tisk, Lee Marie 3D, lateness is inexcusable. What's the time say on the screen?
It's printed 5 minutes and it's a total of 20.
Steven Machado said, from this angle, it looks like a chocolate Taco Bell logo. And then Jeremy said, well, I have a legit excuse. And then Keela said, tell that to my kids, LOL. And then Jeremy said, working on finishing up a video I'm uploading tomorrow. It'll be a good one.
It's kind of closing them holes off, but it's still skipping a spot.
One good thing is we don't have to wait for doing the next one a whole bunch because there's another bed sheet. She can just take the whole bed sheet off and put the new one on that's already clean, because it's not a heated bed to have to wait for it to cool down. You just have to be careful when you remove it to make sure you keep your hand underneath it to support it, because the bed is just a silicone sheet all floppy. And until it cools and solidifies good, the chocolate the printed thing is fragile.
I want a mat that doesn't have a logo. It's just white.
Well, all we gotta do is just buy a silicone baking sheet, cookie sheet, and cut it.
See what it's printing instead of their logo.
We can
their
do that.
Logo messes it up.
And we still got 6 folks hanging in out there. If there is a suggestion of a print that you would like to see done in chocolate, you can send it to Discord. It won't be tonight, but we'll consider things. Melissa has the final veto, so on what she wants to print with her printer.
And that would be kind of pretty if it was all filled in, right? It's like a flat flower. And it's got little grooves up in the middle of it.
Oh, I see what it is. Yeah. This will be worth seeing when it's done, but yeah, it does have a few gaps in it. Could be from the chocolate sitting some.
I don't know, the more it printed, the better it started doing.
It might need it to be heated and purged more, because like you said, after the first couple layers, it's doing all good now. So maybe this next print will be all good. And Keela will probably recognize this next print.
Yeah, it's just printing a flat box.
You mentioned working on finishing up a video for tomorrow. Any teasers on what it's going to be about?
He's going to be tinkering on something. Tinkering Tuesday.
Oh, tinkering Tuesday. Keela said, what did I do? You did something the next. She said that's a lily.
Oh.
A chocolate lily.
Yeah, the top of it's doing good. Just that bottom didn't do the bottom line.
She said build plates. He said, and then Keela said build plates. He said the secrets of build plates. Something like that. Let's see what it says. It says
it's printing. Got 10, printed 10 minutes.
Yep, it says 10 minutes and 14 seconds. It says 34%. You letting the whole thing finish, or are you gonna stop it? Well, you can't use your fingerprint on my phone.
Oh, why not?
What are you trying to
I'm
do?
trying to get your flashlight. I was trying to see if that would show that any better. On the thing. Get out of the way.
Oh, let me see what this comment said. He said next video will be the secret location of the missing tool head bearings.
You see it better.
Yeah, that shows it a little more. And Keela said, oh snap, I spilled the beans. Going over all the build plates offered at West 3D. Got some cool footage with a digital microscope of the plates and the printed parts on all the plates and pretty cool.
Plates, and more plates.
More plates, all the plates. Keela said that's pretty, my favorite flower, so you'll have to print her one for Rocky Mountain. And the way it's got all them openings, you could probably squirt some peanut butter or frosting or something in it if you wanted to.
Then it'd just be sitting on top of it. They don't close it off.
So you're just eating it.
So you gotta be able to put it in a bag and you put something on it, it's gonna be sticky on the bag.
Jeremy said the next video will be what happened to the rat rig. It disappeared, and then he did the shocked emoji face. And Keela said, now is it pretty enough not to eat it? And then Steve Machado said, wow, talk about making an elephant disappear.
I don't think it's pretty right now.
Well, I said you can always stop it.
Well, it's still squirting out.
Oh, the way them ends is, that's overhangs without cooling because it's probably, I can feel it being a little warmer in here than it was earlier. I turned the air up so it wasn't as chilly. Yeah, now that's all that is. The very tips of them is not getting enough cooling is all that is. Which there's literally no cooling fans or anything anyways. That's just part of it. Unless it's inconsistent extrusion, but
Well, there's something over here as it's printing. It ain't even doing over the thing on that side. You can see it? That right there.
And there is a couple of little pieces of chocolate stuck to the nozzle. You'll have to clean it. That might be what it is. The very tip of that corner got stuck and pulled along. There's a little tiny glob on the side of the nozzle that matches about the size that's missing from that corner. So you can stop it if you want. That's still enough for you to eat. That just did a line over one of the pieces that was missing.
We've done a couple of
But yeah, if it
them.
was
Anyway,
me,
I'm gonna stop this because it's
That's-
printing. Yeah, it might need a little work.
that's what I was going to say. If it was me, I'd stop it.
But it printed enough to where you can tell what it is.
And Keyless put up the laughing things. Jeremy did the laughing things, and they said it would be hard to make that big boy disappear.
So I need to cool it down. The thing off of it.
Yeah, I would tell it to cool down while you're doing the thing, and then do the move and move the Z up. So that you give yourself more space. And then I can tilt this camera down to show that a little more. While it's cooling down and stuff.
Right there.
Yeah, that's good. Can you do the flashlight again? And then they can see this a little more. But for the very, very first ever chocolate print, yeah, hold it down like that. There we have a chocolate flower-ish. So I think now, he said chocolate starfish. Now are you gonna do the thumb screws and carefully replace the bed sheet and try that other? Or are you just gonna...
I'm gonna let that cool a minute, and I'm gonna clean this other plate thing.
Stephen Machado said that's better than some first runs on prints that I've seen. Shrimp Father said nice.
Me and my other mat clean it.
She's cleaning the next bed sheet right now. And for those that are interested, this is what we're going to attempt to print next. In chocolate, obviously. Duh. Keela said, love it. Now, how does it taste?
Still on the thing.
She said it's still on the printer. She'll let you know in a minute. But she's been eating the little squirts.
It tastes just like chocolate. Dark chocolate.
Steve Machado said I could imagine Keela printing chocolate nerd critters. Well, that shows on the camera pretty good like that.
Like you can tell there's a few little spots that didn't print completely good, but like I said, first time I think it did pretty good.
Next! You could, while you're doing that, tell it to be preheating again. Ah, crap, I hit the wrong button. There we go. And now that we know it's purged and good and all of that stuff, let it do its default temperatures on this one and see if it still does right. Other than the preheating This print should take less time. And then we'll end the stream tonight.
Did you show them what it was?
I sent the printables link. And then Stephen Machado said, I could imagine Keela printing chocolate nerd critters. Let me put it on here since you're already eating.
I ain't eating. That's just a purge line.
But that's still eating.
Yes, it melts. That's not because it melts as soon as you get it off. Just like little pieces like that. I think on my finger.
And Stephen Machado said, the taste of victory. Well, there's your chocolate flour.
You can tell where it didn't print the bottom layer, right? You can
It's
see the
this
holes in
camera.
it. I know. I was looking at my shirt on the thing where you can see the lines behind it. The holes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I noticed that print. It's fixing to melt and slide out of my hand.
Well, eat it, eat it, eat it.
Well, this definitely melts in your fingers.
You know what that tastes like?
Chocolate.
Well, duh. That tastes like the outside of a chocolate-covered cherry.
I'm not big on dark chocolate, though. I like the milk chocolate. Better.
It definitely melts in your fingers.
We're going to have to go back and watch the video and have a picture because we didn't take no picture of it before we ate it.
Well. Oh, well. No evidence now. And then Jeremy said, printing chocolate like a G. And Keela said, those would be adorable and chocolate nerds.
We thought about printing them. You was talking about having the nerds to give away at Rocky Mountain. We thought about printing some of the chocolate while we're there, letting it be printing and just kind of give them away. Kind of go along with the nerds that you're doing.
Especially since it's going to be at your table. It's 16 minutes.
Where'd my paper towel go?
I don't know. What'd you do with it? You throw it away? I'm going to go wash my hands. Be right back.
Supposed to lick them clean.
Well, I can't lick that much. It's up in my fingernails. Uno momento, por favor. For favor, for favor.
Kayla says she's printing the nerds keychains. But maybe she needs to buy some nerds.
Keela,
candy.
do y'all still have the nerd thing that doesn't have the loop?
Yeah, I said that about the picture. It was a little too late.
She said it after we already ate 2/3 of it. And yes, the Cocoa Press is coming to Rocky Mountain, and more than likely will also be bringing it to Midwest.
As long as we can make it there.
Yeah, as long as we can make it to Midwest, Rip Rap.
Definitely going to Rocky
We're
Mountain.
definitely going to Rocky Mountain, though. The Midwest is still a question. What didn't you hear, Keela? She said, oh, I didn't hear you, darn it.
Unless that when I was talking about the picture. When I said I
Oh,
took the picture.
Yeah.
But it's too late because we already ate it. I said we'll have to go back and look at the live stream and take a
You can
screenshot.
get you a something and clean that off of the tip of the nozzle before you start the nerdy nerds.
My nerd ain't nerdy.
the chocolate nerd.
He's sweet.
He said won't have to do any preheating at Murph. It may not survive printing. Keela said I do that with things I bake so I can go back and see if I'm getting better. And Steve Machado said it's always hot as hell. And Keela said that is no lie, Steven.
Except for last year it was snowing it.
That was Rocky Mountain,
Yeah.
not Midwest. Take your vape so it quits getting mixed up.
I gotta still wait this whole 13 minutes. More minutes. I'm impatient. This 20 minutes having to wait for every print.
Well, you can do like last time. You can tell it done, and if it just squirts out evenly, it's good to go. Yeah, Melissa's not very patient.
I told you what I want to do. I want to have a printer I can just push print.
I know.
Hence where
She
you
said-
got your name from. I want to just.
She
push
said,
print.
I love Murph, though I don't have near the same anxiety. I went back and watched videos of Murph. There's so many people, I'm already anxious. He said, less anxious, but more dehydrated. And Keela said, most women aren't. It's okay, LOL. Striker! Boy!
Oh, they got boxing on. Quit.
Mama gonna get you.
You can't even read that screen.
Nope, it's too bright for that thingy. And Martin said, y'all have a good night. Take it easy, bro. But yeah, we're just going to try and do this print here, and then we're going to call it a night for the stream.
What is that?
Coming-
8 minutes. How long to print that other one?
Yeah, less than 10 minutes.
What's the infill?
Like 10-15% of cubic.
What's that mean?
That's just
Inside
that's just
design?
the type of the infill, yeah.
Cubic.
Down to 4 people watching.
Well, if that's until it's done. It's been doing 10 minutes and it was already halfway heated up.
Well, that's fine. You can tell it done. And then done. And media. And there you go, the top thingy. Here we go. Hopefully. Keela said, I wish at least the bathrooms were air conditioned at Murph so you could cool off here and there. Sorry for the screen being washed out.
And nothing's coming out now.
Well, then tell it stop, like the other thing, and then squirt it out in the corner to prime it. Dun, 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 dun. Steve Machado said, yeah, a few things are worse than having to stick to a sweaty seat.
Unload.
Yes. And then see if it does a boom.
Yeah.
Yes. And then done. And then print. And then yes. And then you might have to grab the little ball.
Yeah, it was supposed to go up and leave.
Yep, it did. It went up and it left the purple. It left the chocolate ball.
Feels like the end of a screw. It's like perfectly round, not a poop shape, but it's like a tip of a screw got broke off. I mean, a bolt.
Bolt.
Yeah. Now it's printing again.
Now it's doing the line.
That one looks better than the other one did.
Well, maybe this will do the best of all. It's still pretty daggone good for just your second print with this thing.
Yeah, that's printing everything. The other one didn't do that. It started off printing. I forgot I had the little feet.
Yeah, his little feet and his little butt. Here comes a chocolate nerd. Steve Machado said that line looks good.
Looks a lot better than the first one did.
Maybe we need to leave it on the 33 instead of the 35. Them 2 degrees difference made it inconsistent and a little too hot.
Yeah, it's on 33. Oh, he looks so cute. You guys see that?
His feet look cute.
You guys say he's got a little feet.
He ain't there yet.
No. They ain't even a quarter of an inch yet. It's just a little.
And it don't sound like it's tearing itself apart no more. We fixed that.
So do I have to print all this tonight, or can I leave it in there and print some tomorrow with the
You
chocolate
can
in it? Still?
Tell it to cool down, and you probably can. You're just going to have to purge it first again and do the full preheat when you do it tomorrow. Yeah, this thing is already, what did it say? 20%? 30%? 34%? So this is real time. If this does print correct, that it could be something we could print. And yes, Stephen Machado, I have something in the works to address that. It says, unfortunately, that printed chocolate is such a low melting point that even room temperature can screw it up. Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to have it cooler in here too.
But I'm working on a cooled enclosure instead of a heated enclosure to keep the enclosure roughly 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
Can you zoom in on that? Like,
I don't think you can zoom with a pinch.
no, it just does.
No. Keela said it should print pretty easy at Remirth, though. Is it showing up pretty good on the camera for y'all?
It's just a dark spot.
I mean, we could do this. show it that way. Keela said, "Oh yeah." Stephen Machado said, "I can see his feet, legs, and Johnson." That thing might not be a speed demon, but it is shaking this table a decent amount.
Well, then you do like layer lines.
It's a 0.5 millimeter tall. That's all you can do. The only way you can make it smaller is to make it smaller layer heights to make it that much longer. But there's only so small you can go with a 0.8 nozzle. This one you need
65% done.
65%. This one you need to take a picture on the printer from the front like that when it finishes. Yeah, I tried to zoom in on that other camera, but that's as much as I could do. He said, "This is where I would pause and pour candy in it."
It ain't doing the front part of it, just sagging. Whatever it's trying to do there.
It's trying to do his nose without using a support. Well, he's gonna be a droopy nose nerd. Not yet, but I mean,
Yeah, the front of him is trying to do it.
he's trying so hard. He said, "LOL," or Keela said, "Yeah, nerds and nerds," and then Stephen Machado said, "LOL, a nerd with a runny nose."
His feet and body did good. And his legs.
And now the air conditioner kicks on. But again, this is literally our second print, so we're figuring stuff out as we go too. We got quite a few improvements and mods and different things in mind coming up anyways, but first we had to get it printing in the first place. And it is
85%.
he's still gonna be a little tasty guy. Yeah, that might need some adjustment to print in chocolate with his big fat nose hanging off. Cause I
You
don't.
can use supports on that.
I was gonna say I don't know if you can do supports with it being so soft either. They're like, yeah, use pretzel supports. He's almost finished though.
Printing his eyes on top of his head.
So who all's still with us? Stephen Machado, Keela still out there? It just finished. It went dun 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 dun.
Sounds like you're in a castle or something medieval.
Melissa's gonna take a picture with her phone and we'll post it to Discord on the Lee Marie Discord and on the 3D and T Discord. Keela said he's one bite. Well, you can see your phone on the camera. Keela says she'll take 5. So yeah, I think I would call this a success.
Can you see that on the camera?
Yeah, you can see that on the
Looks like a
camera.
mess.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you look at it like that, it looks kind of creepy. Take a picture of him from the back or the side. That looked kind of creepy.
I can't do it.
And then you can scroll through the pictures when we get back to the big camera on the main screen, and then we'll call it wrap this up. Unless you're going to eat the nerd too on camera.
This is the actual color. The dark.
Yeah, there you go. That's a much better rendition of what it actually looks like. So
What was it?
no, I was just gonna say we're gonna say the real goodbyes this time, and then wrap it up and talk to them tomorrow. Keela said, "Now I want chocolate." But yeah, thanks for hanging in there with us and watching till the end and stuff, and hanging in there with the struggles at the
Yeah,
beginning
that's it.
until we got it working.
Look at them layers.
Kayla said, "Look at those layer lines," but hey, it printed. And that's what I was telling Melissa. That's part of it with it printing at a 0.5 millimeter layer height. The layer lines is going to be thick.
Cool down every time? Or
Yeah.
is it automatically?
Unless it cools down. It might be, I would still do it anyways, but it might cool down when it finishes a print, but I would just do that every time anyways, just to be sure, especially since you're going to be leaving it tonight. But yeah, on that, we appreciate it. You tell them anything?
No, thank y'all for joining us and watching us experience all these problems starting off. And like I said, hopefully in this week we'll be
He
doing.
said it was a Michelin nerd.
Well, it does kind of look like the Michelin dude with a different color.
Yep.
What was I saying?
You was starting to say we'll be doing more.
Oh
this
yeah,
week.
we're gonna try to at least do one more video this week if possible with the cocoa press. Not sure what, but might, even if it might just be getting on here and letting it print something again, just to do it.
And we will, if things work out, we will try to have a print going this week's game night for a late night print.
Yeah, I know what print you want.
On that note, y'all take it easy. Have a good night, and y'all be good.